Hey guys, this is John Calam from Kuhol Garage, and I'm here with my dog, our 1992 to 1993, I'm not sure which model, Daihatsu Charade. This is the car with the Honda engine swap, more specifically a Honda single cam 1.5 liter non-VTEC. This has been on the mend for the longest time. However, the issue is that we kind of broke something in it, and then trying to fix it and doing a lot of, while you're in there, a lot of additional things that we wanted to do to the car while it's still broken, and already getting it fixed, but again stymied by one more thing that needed to be repaired. So I have some footage of when this car was on the lift, and I'm also gonna tell you now what we're kind of stuck on, and we're kind of waiting to have this particular part installed. So it's just that one part, and then we'll probably be able to do a road test on this little yellow hatchback over here. So with that said, let me take you to the time when this car was on the lift, and let me tell you what else is pending on this. Alright, so we have the Charade up on the lifter, and let me take this opportunity to show you what has transpired with the car. So let's first start with the engine bay, or at least underneath it. Alright, so the first issue this car had, that it kind of broke the inner CV joint here. I don't know if you can see it. Right, so there's no axle, but this is the inner CV cup, the housing where the inner CV joints lie in, no? So it's like a tripod assembly type of thing, no? The old one was pretty worn out. I can show you the old cup right now. Alright, so this is the inner CV joint cup. What the previous owner was able to do in order to adapt the Honda axle. This is a spline for a Honda Civic. They cut it up, and then they welded the cup of the Charade. I don't know if you could see, but this part is quite thick. This part is quite thick, but these two parts here, it's a bit thin, no? There's already excess clearance, and this is why we're having inner CV joint issues. So the initial thing that we did was to adapt another cup, basically redo the same conversion the previous owner did. But the machine shop did advise me later that it would be a better idea to just cut and paste the Honda axle into the rest of the Daihatsu spline setup, so that we would just use inner CV joints and axle cups for a Honda Civic. So this one, we're just gonna apply it to the driver's side, since we already modified the driver's side axles and already had them fabricate spare axles in case we break axles. In as far as competition is concerned, you always want to have spare drive axles when you're competing. There is no axle, we still have to assemble it. We will assemble it once we have the right side fully operational right here. There's also no axle here, so I'm having custom axles remade for this, so that we, at least for this side, we hope not to experience any CV joint failure for as long as we treat this car well. We thought that there was an issue with the transmission, and thus we replaced the transmission with a surplus, good known surplus unit. It seems to be good. Still, we replaced the external seals, and hopefully this transmission should be good for temporary use. We opened up the old transmission. Let me show you parts of it as I discuss future plans. These are parts of the transmission. Basically, we broke apart the transmission to inspect if there's anything wrong inside, and there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the transmission. I'm pleased to report that this is a P4AB00 case. So this is the big bearing case, or the big bearing transmission of the D series. This transmission It's supposed to have the good ratios, and since we opened it up and we did count second and third gear, which was the most important thing for me to confirm, because first gear is basically the same for all the D series transmissions. I was also able to count the final drive, and I'm pleased to confirm that this is the Civic EX ratios, and it has the 4.25 final drive. So it's the second best or second shortest final drive available. I think there's a 4.4 OEM, but I don't think that's very common. But there's really something missing right now that we are working on. And what's missing is the differential. So it has the OEM open differential, and because we were able to acquire a cheap limited slip clutch type differential, albeit a two-way, and coming from late 80s Japanese roundabout. It does not bolt on, so we're having the machine shop do their magic to make it bolt on into our transmission. The dream is to put a 4.9 final drive, so there's somebody selling a slightly used final drive from M Factory, and I hope I gain enough funds to get that one. I think it's worth it to get that one, even though I don't have an LSD, but it's good to be able to figure out how to get both my LSD working that I recently acquired and acquiring that final drive. So this car would be a fantastic autocross machine with that setup. Right now, it is just a bunch of parts. We're going to assemble it. But for now, just to get the car running, we have the surplus transmission. Okay, so one issue that we are experiencing is that we have a cracked oil pan. It's leaking. As we speak, it's leaking in drips and dribbles. We temporarily tried to patch it with some epoxy, but nevertheless, we have already acquired a replacement oil pan. It's not really the best in condition. As you can see, it has been hammered so hard because again, this car was slammed. Maybe in the future we would fabricate or how to mount a skid plate in order for us to protect the crankcase. So you could see that this car has some stainless steel headers. So it's a 4:2:1 setup. So that came with the car. This is part of while we were in here or under here. So we have installed an additional resonator here, stainless steel. I think this is what, 18 inches or 14 inches. I don't know. I haven't measured it. It's longer than a ruler. Okay, stainless steel up to the existing stainless steel resonator that came with the car. So everything is just temporarily welded on. So but we just did it here just to assemble everything so that when we take it to the muffler shop, they know what to do and everything is properly situated. Okay, and this is still a mild steel section over here. We have already assembled this as a 2-inch system because the outlet is 2-inch, and then we have already increased the size to 2.5 to enter this 2.5 inch resonator. Future plans is when I take this to the muffler shop, I'm gonna have this done straight 2.5 all the way to the muffler, which is this thing over here. Okay, so I don't know, it's some sort of spoon type muffler over here. It's not quiet. It's like a passenger jeepney as it accelerates at around 3,000 up RPM. So I don't like that particular tone that it has. So hopefully with the resonator and with the bigger piping here going out, it will be louder, but hopefully the tone would be much improved. We've also repaired the shifter assembly here. There's some linkage here that needs to be reinforced some more. The boot is torn, so I have to ask what can be done, what parts are available to repair the boot over here. And while this car is here on the lifter, because again, we're waiting on the axles to be finished. I'm going to be following it up tomorrow. We want to put some rear anti-roll bars. Kinda need this car to rotate, but I think this small one should suffice. This very thin diameter anti-roll bar, which is an OEM part for an Elantra. So since this car's light, hopefully it should be enough. But there's an issue somewhere here. I don't think it can be seen, but it's somewhere there that we kinda have to reinforce the chassis there, because there's like a crack over there at the chassis part where the rack and pinion is mounted and the engine support is mounted. And again, these are our Toyota Vios Batman brakes. Upgraded, vented. It kind of looks stock, right? But there's some heavy modification here on the dog bone area. You know, they had to the machine shop had to fabricate a new bracket over here, welded it up very rigidly so that we gain brakes. We are able to adapt these brakes from a Vios Batman to the Charade knuckle. And the bearings, wheel bearings, are brand spanking new. These required some modification, needed to increase the center bore of the rotor hat by 1 mm. These were 54 mm, I think, or 55 mm. I have to increase it to 56 or 55. I don't know, but 1 mm has had to be increased by the machine shop. Freshly rebuilt with new pads. OEM spec only, not really racing pads. So yeah, that's update on the Charade. Pretty extensive update. So this is the rear right brake of the Charade. Drum brakes, very tiny rotors, or drums rather. We were stymied by the fact that we were trying to bleed the car, and the bleeder screw of the wheel cylinder broke. I said maybe I could have this repaired or something, but the thing is, this is already corroded, this whole wheel cylinder. Too bad, it's an original Japan unit. So what's this, 11/16? Ordered a replacement from Shopee and it has already arrived, so we will be installing once the guys are already here back at the shop. The only thing needed to be done on this car is a brake bleed. Unfortunately, weren't able to do that. You could see from this vantage point the finished rear anti-roll bar that we have constructed over here. So future plans, I have to test this. I think this might be a bit too stiff. We could always relocate this one to the other arm, the other control arm here. There's holes here where we could like move the stabilizer link to. We are planning to make this in a sense two-part adjustable, put adjustment here, and just to, if this is really stiff, make this longer so that anti-roll bar arm will be longer. Let's see how that will work. But for now, this seems to work very well on the wet. I was able to do a brief test drive. The car rotates on low speed maneuvers. It may be too stiff, I don't know yet. So I want to play around with the length of the rear anti-roll bar. Oops. So okay, so we have the standard handbrake, and then beside it is hydraulic handbrake setup that again we were trying to finalize. This is inline, leading only to the rear brake. So I'm hoping that this would be able to lock up the rear drums. It only barely hits the lever when we shift to reverse, but aside from that, there are no clearance issues with the shifter, so that's pretty sick. Hopefully, we're gonna be able to get it really functional, get the rear brakes locking so that this car rotates on slalom. Come here, come here, come here. Give me, give me, give me. Okay, so with that said, that's it for updates on the Charade. Hopefully, in the next video, you'll see it running. We'll be testing it outside and running it and seeing if the hydraulic handbrake works. But for now, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time on future installments of the Charade. Ciao!